Okay, friends. So today we are going to be learning about theme. It's really a review for us. I know that you've just watched that video. We learned theme a while ago, early in the first semester, but we're going to review it again because, as I told you last week, we are going to be reading traditional literature, and traditional literature is filled with not only characters that we can analyze, but also lots of messages, morals, and lessons that we can learn. So we want to be able to look at what is a theme, and how do we identify or find the theme in a selection. So get your journals ready. It should be ready. If it's not, pause this video and be ready to take notes on theme. And then we're going to go through a PowerPoint presentation in the next video together to practice identifying the theme of a couple of selections. So today's date is 1. That's wrong. Miss Box, today's the 12th. I always do that. So glad that y'all are used to me doing that. 1/12/21. All right, and so we're going to start and we're going to put nice and big theme across the top. And theme is known as, I want us to get this and get it good, the message. And if you look at it, the message. And you will see right there in the beginning, you can see the word theme. Theme is the message. It is the message in a selection. Well, what is the message, Mixed Box? That is the moral or the lesson of the story. That is what the theme is. It is the moral or lesson of the story the author wants you to learn. The moral or lesson of the story the author wants you to learn. Okay, so in lots of these stories, remember, we learned last week that in traditional literature, a lot of these stories were told by word of mouth and they were handed down from generation to generation. And a lot of times they were to teach lessons between right and wrong, good and evil, how teach about things that came about in nature. And so there was always a lesson or something that the teller of the story or the writer or creator of the story wanted those who listened to it to understand. So it is the moral or lesson of a story that the author wants you to learn. Now, the theme it can be stated, meaning they're going to tell you sometimes, but a lot of times it's implied, which means that you have to infer. So sometimes the theme is stated. That means they tell it to you right away, okay? That means the author tells you at the end. The author tells you at the end. But then other times it is implied. Sometimes it's implied. Sometimes the theme is implied. And what that means is that you have to use text evidence to infer. That means the reader has to use text evidence to infer. The reader must use text evidence to infer. Well, how do I do that, Miss Box? How do I infer the theme of a selection if they don't tell me? Well, there's some questions that you have to ask yourself as the reader. Questions to ask. Questions to ask yourself. Ask self, okay? Those are questions that you have to ask yourself. Like, first, what did the character learn? What did the character learn? What did the character learn? How did the characters change? So you see why it was important for us to really learn how to analyze those characters. How did the characters change? Remember, we want to look at what kind of people they were in the beginning. How were they in the end of the selection? What is motivating them or causing the characters to behave or act in a certain way? How did the characters change? And then also, you have to ask yourself, what message is the author sending me? What message is the author sending me? What message is the author sending? Okay. What message is the author sending? Those are questions that you have to ask yourself. Then there are some things that you have to, but then there's some common themes. That's the thing about it. When we're reading, there's lots of common themes, some common themes to look for. Common, that means that a lot of stories are written and they have these messages, okay? That's what I mean when I say common themes. Some common themes that you will find in stories that you read are friendship, uh, never give up, or determination. Teamwork is a big one that we always that are always in some of these selections that we're going to read. The importance of honesty, being honest, the importance of kindness, okay, the importance of family, the importance of respect, and then also some others are courage. And we know a synonym for that is bravery. Okay. And then uh, responsibility. That's another one, being responsible. So those are some common themes that you will find in text. So like I said, over the next this week, we are going to be reading some traditional literature, and those stories are going to help us. We'll read those to be able to identify the theme, the message, or the moral or lesson of the story. So we are going to pause this as needed to catch up with me, update your notes as you need to, And then also you're going to click on the next link in Google Classroom, and we're going to go through a PowerPoint presentation together, and you will use your notes. And there'll be 2 places where we're going to practice. Like I said, play this again as you need to make sure that you get all of your notes.